So when I work with leaders, especially in executive coaching, at some point we're going to do a leadership 360 assessment and feedback. So what happens when sometimes that feedback is a little bit hard to hear? And I say sometimes. There's going to always be something inside of a 360 degree assessment that's going to make you feel a little uncomfortable, which is a good thing, because if there isn't some kind of level of uncomfort, the feedback probably isn't very helpful. But it is one thing for us to think through and be able to step back a little bit and kind of look at the big picture and then kind of dig down into what we really need to focus and work on. That's why, in my opinion, it's great to work with a coach or a professional to help you through that process, because it's so easy to get stuck inside your own brain and mind when you're going through this and trying to put this through yourself, or maybe your HR group has given you the tools, but now you're looking at an assessment, trying to dig out what you need to be successful going forward. So obviously, working with someone that can guide you through this process is very helpful. But here's the kind of the key points I found that have been important for the executives I work with, especially when receiving a 360. So the first piece is to normalize the discomfort. Like I said at the beginning, if it doesn't sting a little bit, it's probably not very useful. So it's good that there's some emotional kind of reflex or reaction to some of the feedback, but at the same time, we need to take a step back and just read through it and look at it from a distance. It's like misinterpreting a text message, right? Because something comes up, you read it one way, it wasn't meant to be sent that way, it was from the other side. So just taking a step back and reading through it. If it's a good leadership 360 degree assessment tool, you're going to get a combination of just scores and that actual communication, feedback, written text. So you have a balance of the two. Do they make sense? Is there one contradicting the other? Or what are we able to kind of pick out of it from a very high level? But first is really just to understand. The second piece is to look for trends. We spend the time going through it, but then looking to see, okay, where am I showing up like this consistently? I'm seeing it from a couple of different avenues, or I'm seeing it in the score reflecting about emotional intelligence, and I'm seeing it in some of the comments. And again, we're talking about emotional intelligence or the lack thereof around that. There's going to be the one-off comments about some time when that's fine. If it can tie back in and it makes sense to a trend in some behaviors, great. If not, they're just outliers, and we put them to one side and we look for the trends that make the most amount of sense to us, and that's what we're going to focus on. And the third piece is to take that one or two kind of trends that we've seen and take them into actionable goals, tasks, points that we're going to implement and go forward with. There's no point in writing down a list of 5, 6, 7 different things. It's just too much for us to try to change all at one time. Because what we want to do is sit down with our team or to communicate to the people that have taken it and said, hey, thank you very much. Really appreciate the feedback. What I took out of it was these trends, and I'm going to work on 1, 2, maybe 3, right? Just put 1, 2. These things is what I'm going to be focused on. I'd love your input and your feedback at the appropriate times when I'm working on this and this. So Leadership 360 tools are very powerful. And going through this and communicating to your team about, here's a behavior change that I'm going to make, builds an immense amount of credibility for yourself as a leader. There is probably not one other thing that I've ever come across that can add more credibility to a leader than to go through a 360 and to make a behavior change. If you want to look at this for yourself, your team, other people inside of your organization, you can easily reach out to us at ActionHTX.com. I'm Andrew Buchan, your Business Accelerator.